For today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Ooga booga booga.
As the adrenaline rush calms down, and it's just like oh God, I'm drained.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon. It's really not.
No, it's not been fun.
No. And there's people that's still going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people have collective PTSD. Because even as far as hearing other people's trauma, seeing pictures of other people's trauma, that can cause personal trauma.
Yes.
At least that's how it's being defined these days. And
no, it's very much a similar reaction to seeing it in person.
Yeah. And there is a difference. And I'll tell you this. I was never one of these. I like spoopy movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like old spoopy movies. But the newer ones, and we've discussed this before, there was this shift in the 70s
mm-hmm.
to where the stuff was no longer like The Blob and different things like that.
Yeah.
That there was a true element of darkness. And so...
It started bringing out realism.
Yeah.
With the horror, and it's like...
And maybe it was just all self-disclosure.
Well, I mean... We were talking about it earlier because I've been obsessed with this channel called Product that, made the Mother and Alice movies.
And they're disturbing.
They're disturbing, but they're good.
They are and they aren't. And I was talking to Kid. I said...
Like, they're well done.
I want fun spoopy. But what we're going through right now, I mean, it just... The thought of even watching a horror video game or something like that, it's just not appealing to me. Now,
No.
As far as sitting and watching The Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever, because 'tis the season, I could do that.
Well, that's fun spoopy.
It is. That's the fun spoopy.
Watching Scary Godmother or...
Yes, that's the one I was trying to think of also. That one was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that it is important for people to have a semblance of normalcy as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. To have something within their environment that they can control.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like as far as being able to take a hot bath the other day. That was an incredible thing.
That's a luxury.
It is a luxury.
And we don't realize it because it's like, it's an everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, but it's like, oh shit, when stuff hits the fan, it's like, oh.
That's like that song, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's true. And maybe this was just a reminder.
That's exactly what it was. And it's like, I don't want to go back to the days of boiling water and transporting it to the tub.
God, that's not fun. That is not fun. I've done that at different points in life, and it's like as you get older, the novelty of doing shit like that,
it wears off.
Mm-hmm. It does. We had another. It was a X-class flare earlier today that it was like 9.0. And I've got to where over on X, as far as posting Stefan Burns videos that he does on YouTube, I have, for whatever reason, it's some kind of weirdness, because where it says share, and I do the share thing, and then I go back over to my account on X, and it isn't there. So I've got to where I manually put in the whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a weird,
just
a glitch, weirdness thing.
It is some kind of weirdness, and it just be, I don't know. But he does talk about these things and stuff like that, and it just, that gave me a little bit of normalcy. I actually thought, because the flare occurred relatively early this morning, and sleep has been a challenge because, and so he said that the geomagnetic storm should reach us around October the 6th. And we are recording this on the the night of October the 3rd, 2024. And it's like,
It's October 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was weird, I was scrolling
That's
through.
That's a Mean Girls reference right there.
I don't know anything about those people. I don't.
And Bratz dropped their Mean Girls collab today, and it was a shit show of a launch for that first doll.
Okay. I'm not in that community.
They all got sold out within 2 minutes.
Of course they did.
By bots.
Mm-hmm. That's not right. There's a lot of stuff that everybody's looking and going, this ain't right.
Yeah, tell me the MGA is getting blasted on Twitter right now because of that.
And should.
Because now scalpers are selling those dolls or whatever on eBay for $200 when they're just $60.
Yeah. So, I mean, that ain't right. And there's things that are being brought up that people are going, this is not right. This needs to be dealt with.
Oh, this whole thing has been very illuminating.
Yeah.
It has brought a lot of shit to light.
And it was like, God love him. I really have a lot of respect for Representative Tim Burchett that's out of Knoxville. I like him, and he has a wonderful Twitter presence. He's a hoot. And somebody will say something, they'll be trolling him, and he will come back with some of the best responses. I mean, I love it. Just amazing.
That's cool.
But he had posted, as far as some of the rescue efforts and different things like that, and it was appreciated because there's so many rumors, and you don't know what is truth and what is not. And in today's world, without verification, I always have healthy skepticism.
Always.
I mean, that's been true of the internet for a long time.
Because you don't know what's real and what's not. And that's
right.
always been sort of the thing ever since the internet became, you know?
Yeah, just because somebody says
like, don't
something,
believe everything you see on the internet.
Don't believe everything somebody tells you. There are a lot of people that talk out of their asses.
Literally have discernment on everything.
Yeah. And it's like, God love her, we got a lady that lives near us. And it's like she got some issues. Severe ones.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot believe anything that she says because she's delusional.
Yeah.
I mean, she's out there.
It's like
delusional. To the point that you can't.
It's dangerous delusional.
It is. It is dangerous delusional.
But it's to the point what?
You can't befriend her because of the delusions. And that because our world has devolved to what it is, where all it takes is somebody accusing someone of any kind of anything that could be conceived as an impropriety. And it's really sad.
Mm-hmm. But y'all had to interact with her a lot. Well, a few times.
I've had to interact with her on and off over the years because she's lived up in this area for a very long time.
But yeah, where the power was out and y'all, that store's at the...
Yeah. The lady who runs the little store at the end of our holler, and it's like those are such good people, and it is a form of ministry for them.
It is.
And that the lady that we've been talking about lives right next door to the store. So she is there frequently.
Uh-huh.
And the two ladies that are the primary ones that work there at the store and stuff are nurses. Mm-hmm. So they understand, and they are kind, and they are gracious.
Yeah.
And
they're awesome people.
They are awesome people. They are awesome people.
They help people out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that God love her. I'm sure she was wigging them out.
No, not really. I mean, they're used to it. But if anybody else who is not used to dealing with somebody that has some severe mental health issue, it can wig them out because it's not normal. It's not normal. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what? And people are like, what is normal? Well, now there is a baseline. Let's be real. I mean, honest to God, coffee slurping. I mean, have been so coffee deficient. And within that, found a news story that was from the Daily Star, and it has names that I can't pronounce, but I'm just going to do the best that I can because Podling. And this is by Kelly Williams, and was October the 3rd. And this burglar, and his last name, I don't know, his name is Damien, which, with the connotations, I like the name Damien. I really do.
Yeah.
But there's connotations to that name.
It's because it's been used in horror.
Yes. And then his last name is Wojnilowicz. That is not something that somebody from the mountain should even attempt to try to pronounce.
Wakanza. I don't know how the fuck you say that.
That's people from up there near the Great Lakes. They could pronounce that with no problem.
It's like you stare at it, and the more you stare at it, it's like, nope, still don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. And then this occurred in a place in Wales. Hell, I can't pronounce that either. It's Monmouthshire. Monmouth Shire. Which a lot of times they don't pronounce Shire. They do something else. So, anyhow.
Okay.
And I did not use a picture of this individual because I didn't think that it was necessary on this. And it says that this man broke into a woman's home and carried out some domestic chores before leaving a note. And it says that he hung out her washing, emptied her recycling bin, and put her shopping away during this. And then he left a note that said, "Don't worry, be happy, eat up and scratch."
What? Eat up and scratch? What does that mean?
Exactly. And more than likely, this is somebody that had, a little bit of a mental health issue. It said the incident happened on July the 16th, and the homeowner had also found that the bird feeders had been refilled, the potted plants had been moved, and that inside the house, a pair of shoes had been removed from the packaging, and the packaging was then placed in the recycling bin. And so,
this is a sort of positive story so far. Because it's like, he wasn't malicious in any way, shape, or form. Mm-mm. He just broke into someone's house, cleaned it up, and then left.
A meal had been cooked using items from the cupboard, and that shopping had been taken from a bag and placed in the refrigerator, which had been rearranged. Kitchen utensils had been placed in the bin. I don't know if that's what that is. And new ones from the shopping bag had been laid out. Toothbrush heads had been replaced on the toothbrushes, and an empty bottle of wine had been placed in a rack after having been drunk, and the floor had been cleaned with a mop and the bucket left out. Now, these are the types of people that you want breaking in sometimes. Yeah. Said that the victim also saw... The victim?
That ain't a victim. That's also a blessed person.
A bottle of red wine had been left out next to a glass and a bottle opener, and there was a bowl of sweets on the living room table. And she spoke to her neighbor, who described seeing someone hanging out there washing. And then on July 29th, another homeowner was alerted by his CCTV app that the same man was mooching. Mooching here has a different probably connotation that it does in Wales. Must have been like hanging about in his driveway or something. Said that the defendant went on to use the shower in the summer house to wash and clean his clothes. Food and drink had also been consumed, and the hot tub had been left dirty. How dare he?
How dare you leave that hot tub dirty?
Absolutely. And it said that the victim asked his son-in-law to attend the property, and the defendant appeared to be drunk and was holding a glass, and that he was asked to leave and did so, but the burglar was later arrested. Is it a burglar if he didn't take anything?
I mean, he took food, drink.
Well, I guess he did on that. But
still, just leave the man be. Help him out.
Yes, it said that his DNA was found on fingerprints from the first property. And the traumatized first victim shared a statement with the court saying 2 weeks after the crime, until he was caught, that she was living in a state of heightened anxiety that she had never experienced before, and wondered if there was somebody who knew if he knew her, or if it was stalking, or
you know what the judge is going to do? It's like, okay, this is the only time that he's done this to your house. He's nonviolent. He's going to look at her and be like, damn, I wish someone would break into my house and clean it.
That would be here when somebody did that. And the gentleman apparently has no fixed home or anything like that. And he did plead guilty to the 2 counts of burglary, and that the court heard that he has 4 previous convictions for offenses including common assault, public order offenses, and failing to surrender. Which, the way the law and stuff is going over there,
yeah,
take that with a grain of salt. Because, dude obviously has some issues, and says that his defense attorney, Tabitha Walker, said that her client was in dire straits, homeless and struggling at the time of the crimes, and was fully remorseful for what he'd done. Yeah, I would have left the woman's apartment a mess too. So he goes in and he cleans.
And she's traumatized because someone didn't steal anything, but made them dinner and cleaned. And he was, as far as the sentencing, and they're like, this was a significant intrusion in their homes, and he was sentenced to a total of 22 months. Who was the people?
Now remember,
who was the victims? I want their names. I have my reasons. This is just, I'm just saying, and that this has happened in this country too. It truly has, because there have been, and I'm Pete Early, who wrote the book Crazy, which I have referred to before. I actually had contacted Mr. Early years ago, because he wrote the book based on what happened with his son. His son had been in college at the time and had broken into someone's home and maybe peed on the carpet and slept in the bed. And his son, it was found out that he had, I think he was schizophrenic or had bipolar disorder or something, and he was having an episode. And trying to explain this to the people, and it was the woman, she no longer felt safe. And the horrific things that Mr. Early had to go through trying to keep his son out of prison. And remember, over there in some of these other places, people are, as far as a mean tweet. Does this not sound ridiculous to anyone?
I think that, and it's like, my grandparents grew up during the Depression. My grandfather fought in World War II. My father was a Marine. And the terms that they would use for this is beyond weak. This is infantile. And it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on with some of this stuff. But when I was going to college, one of the things that they told us, because we had like 34 or 36 kids in my graduating class. That's it. And I went to East Tennessee State University that had thousands. It was like a city, a small city within a city. And it was just like, whoo, this is different. And I was not, because of the situations that I grew up in and stuff like that, but, they told us they would have in the dorms and stuff, Ways to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't go out at night alone. Don't walk around and look like a victim. I don't.
No, you look
I took that serious. I never did look like a victim.
No, you look like the offender.
Possibly. I could see that happening.
I'm just joking on that.
No, it's true. I could see that happening.
But you look like you could kick someone's ass if needed.
When I was doing karate, like I said, that one teenage kid that I was sparring with, he said, you don't have to hit anybody. He said, you get this look on your face, and it's just like, I give up.
Well, you are Papa's child.
Yeah.
He had a look.
Daddy had the same way to do that, didn't he?
Yes.
All he had to do was just look at you.
Yes. And it was like your heart sinks and your blood runs cold and you're like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that is. Maybe is it a superpower? I don't know. It's
called putting the fear of God in someone.
Yeah, really. It's just like, and I have literally, there have been times it's almost like feeling fire shoot out of your eyes. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's been very rare. But I have experienced that.
What is your moon in again?
My moon's in Gemini.
Okay, never mind.
But, within this, in our world, we have... How is it that people that want to scream victim are being revered? That wasn't how that was. Let's go back just a couple more generations. You had people like John Wayne, who supposedly had the statement, life is hard, it's harder if you're stupid.
It's true. It's true.
We grew up with, as far as Clint Eastwood and some of these things, and even in the 80s you had Rambo and different things like that. And this... I truly believe that it is a matter of this horrific spell that has been cast. And one of the ways that you break spells, first of all, recognize it.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit.
And
I've been hoodwinked.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. To sit there and go, wow, I bought into the lie. Bought into the lie. Mm-hmm. And when this happened, and it is happening, I have seen some people that they're like, oh, God, I was part of the problem. And to have compassion, to sit there and go, I get it. I get it. I've been there. It was years ago, but I've been there. It is not a matter of trying to rub somebody else's nose in it.
No, it's not. But for some reason, that's how certain parts of the internet works. It's like, oh, someone fucked up. Let's rub their nose in it. Let's rub their nose in shit for the next 10, 20 years.
They don't. There used to be another saying that people have forgotten. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Mm-hmm. And maybe these people were never taught that. That was just, we have lots of these old sayings that have been around for many, many moons here in the mountains. And that's just like something I would go through periods of time that I'll be typing stuff and I'm like, I wonder where I pulled that one out from.
It's like, am I
channel typing again?
Which ancestor spoke through me there?
Absolutely, and especially the one about people speaking with forked tongues.
Forked tongues?
Absolutely. That is a very old Native American something. If somebody is speaking with a forked tongue, first of all, you got to realize serpents, snakes have forked tongues. But one side says one thing, the other side says another thing. So you've got a dualistic meaning with he speaks with forked tongue. That one's been coming up a lot. And I roll with it. I'm just like, okay. But it's like what used to be considered common sense is no longer common. And it's like, this is where those of us that are older, we try to teach the younger ones, and a lot of them, a lot of them think they already know it all. Pride always goes before a fall.
Everything just...
But God love him, it's like this poor man. And I understand, because I actually, at one point, did have items. I have had shit stolen from me before in various and sundry ways.
Did we tell them about the alcohol? Huh? Did we tell them about the alcohol?
No. And it does, the first time it gives you this, and it does, it's unsettling to think that someone, took your shit. That they went into some place that they weren't supposed to be and took your shit. I will tell you this, it's easier to deal with it being a stranger breaking in and taking your shit than someone you know, love, and trust. That's a bitch. Because as far as dealing with people that have severe mental illness, because we're not speaking out of our asses.
10 plus years.
10 plus years. Try 14, honey.
That's 10 plus years. That's more than...
like I said, yes, if you want to look at it that way.
Trying not to...
It would be 14 in February.
Trying to make it sound better than...
February 22nd, 2011. Faded. So have compassion with people. Try to teach those, but do not cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and rip you to shreds. But I don't know, if somebody wants... It was funny in the comment section on this, and I tried to thumbs up, but they wanted my email address, and I'm like, no, I'm not even. Somebody's like, can I give this individual my personal address? Everybody would like to think of somebody coming and cleaning for them. That would be wondrous. That would be a dream. I tell you what, God love him. Send him over down here to North Carolina or whatever. Give him a shovel and let him clean to his little heart's content. And then let him work for a month or so, and then time served.
Yeah. Just...
He wasn't hurting anybody. He is hurting.
Yes. It's like, have pity upon that man.
Yeah.
Stop having your asshole in a knot and have pity.
Yeah.
Have some empathy.
Yeah. But you got to be discerning on some of that too.
You do.
Yeah. But I mean, he wasn't like he was a violent offender. And some of the things that's going on over here and all across the world. And I'm like, my God, what have we become? So again, with the final thoughts.
Barbarians. That's what we've become.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. So if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids... If you would like to if somebody has ever broken in and cleaned your house, let us know that in the comment section. You've been blessed
by the cleaning gnomes.
They used to talk about the good fairy coming and cleaning somebody's house. That was one of those legends as far as the brownies and the fae and different things like that would come and help people.
But the fae is also known as to be very
tricksters.
Mischievous.
Yeah, don't mess with the fae. Do not mess with the fae.
No.
I just let them know.
Just let them be.
Eventually, I will get around to the email stuff, and it's cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com.
We had mushrooms in our yard.
Do we?
We did.
Those large?
The white mushrooms.
The large ones like I like?
No, they were small.
Oh.
But they were in the yard. I had no choice but to mow.
I understand. We have mushroom envy. There's a lady that lives across from Mom, and she has these amazing, huge white mushrooms. They're not the kind that you can eat or anything.
No, they're very much poisonous, but
beautiful.
Yeah.
And she hates them.
She does.
And she's almost 90, and she'll go out there and she'll be just kicking the hell out of those mushrooms. And I'm like, wonder if we could like
transplant them,
spread the spores or something.
Transplant them.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to mow as much.
I wouldn't.
You could just, a fungus farm.
Yeah,
that's a thought. Mm-hmm. Anyhow,
they got those grow your own mushroom kits.
Yeah, we could do that in the basement.
We couldn't do morels though.
No, they don't know exactly how the morels do what they do. That's why they're weird coveted. Kind. Yeah, they're coveted.
Even in Animal Crossing, they're rare.
Yeah. Do your thing about where we can be found.
Check us out on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS.
I'm quite active over there.
Mm-hmm.
I really am.
Yeah.
And, know that you're loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And if you think that mental illness only happens to other people, you have no clue how it works. Because anybody at any time could have a traumatic brain injury, some kind of other medical event, a sickness. It's incredible how often we take each day for granted.
Something traumatic can happen suddenly.
Yeah.
And so that can just throw someone through a loop, like a complete spiral.
Yep. Don't judge somebody until you've walked a mile in their moccasins. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.